good? We good? I hope so. Alright, hey y'all, it is AK, and this is the first video that's dedicated to the machines and areas that we work at as MHAs or mail handlers. Please keep in mind, these machines are in relation to my plant. Therefore, I might have machines that where you're at does not have, and where you are at might have machines that my plant does not have. Plus, I do not know any of these machines completely in and out, but I can tell you some of the basic and general informations and or movements that we do while working at these machines. With a little bit of imagination, hopefully you'll get a decent understanding. This is dedicated to the high-speed universal sorter. That machine sorts out the letter mail, not the individual letters, but the letter trays. They're going to get sorted out throughout the machines based on zip codes. It's going to come down the little legs based on the zip code. But you are also going to be separating the standard mail trays from the first class mail trays into an equipment to go out to the stations. We are going to start at the dock because that's where it all begins. This is the biggest machine in my plant. It starts on the dock and goes into the plant. We have two high speeds, high speed 1 and high speed 2. There are two loading areas in the dock for this machine. One side is for first class mail, the other side is for standard mail. Again, remember, this is my plant. Maybe y'all might do it differently. So, let's start on the first class side. I remember I showed you guys the images of the letter trays that comes with the letter tray with the cardboard sleeve and the little plastic taping. Just in case you don't, little reminder. That is what you're going to be putting onto the roller tracks. It's not a belt, it's like not a conveyor belt, but it's like a little roller tracks. We're going to pretend this chair is the roller track. Hopefully I don't cut my head off as I stand up. I tested it, but you just never know. This is going to be the roller track part, and then have a little bit of a ledge because in there is sensors on the sides. As soon as you put that tray down, it's going to sense something is there, and it's going to start rolling, and off the tray goes into the machine. So this is going to be the loading. I'm going to be using my iPad. I'm going to grab that stuff off camera a bit. Excuse me. As an example of the little letter tray. Still hoping I'm not cutting my head off, because I just discovered a new little thing within their camera, and it does not allow me to record it the other way. So I can't even watch myself to make sure I'm not getting my head cut off. Yeah, I'm going to leave that in there. Anyways, let's say that this is the letter tray. All you're going to do, if it has everything I said, the tray, the sleeve, and the taping, and it's also going to have the tray. I'm not even sure why I said that. But all you're going to do is put it on there, and it's going to go. That's it. But let's say you got a tray that didn't have the little plastic taping. Well, then you have to take off the sleeve, because they don't want the sleeve to come off in the machine and it either jams it or damages it. So you would pretty much grab it this way, put your hand on it here, pull the sleeve, and then put it on the belt. I'm not going to be holding it up high, but that's just the way I can explain it to you. If it doesn't come with the cardboard sleeve or the tray, or the little banding, just put it on there. Doesn't matter. That's actually probably a lot easier. But first class size is pretty simple as long as you have all those three things. And the majority of the time, you will have all three of those items: the tray, the sleeve, and the little taping. You most likely will receive the letter tray in an APC or a can or on the pallet, and sometimes it might even be in the char wall, which is the box. But the majority of the time, it will be the APC that you're going to be taking it out of and loading it onto the machine. Now, we're going to go to the standard side. Standard side is a little bit different. First off, it mostly always will come on a pallet. And the standard side, on my plant, we have a little roller track that the pallets sit on. So they can actually put a bunch of pallets of the standard mail on it and have it kind of lined back, and then you would just push it forward because it's all rollers, so you'll be able to push it forward as you work through the standard mail. there's a little square section off the whole roller track that's separate from everything else, and there's like a little pole there that you can lower and lift to keep the other pallets from rolling forward. That matters because that little section that's kind of sectioned off in there, it lifts and it lowers. So for those of you who are a little bit tall, you know, you don't want to have to bend down as much, you can, like, I think there's a little button at the bottom, push it and it will lift up. You don't have to bend down that much. And then you can obviously lower it when you're done. You also have to have it lifted though, because it also can spin, so you can work the back half of the pallet. Because sometimes they have it stacked in a way where you can just work the front half, and then you can spin it to work the back half. That way you don't have to reach across in order to put it on there. This all matters because standard mail is heavy. You know how you get that stupid little dentist card that says, hey, a new dentist company just opened up in your area. Here's some little coupons and some discounts. Well, imagine a full tray of all those little dentist cards. That's going to be one heavy tray. So you want to definitely use that to your advantage to try to less the work that you're going to have to be doing on your body. Because no matter what you're going to do, you're going to have to actually put a lot of work on your body. You will be sore. You will get sore. But this might help ease a little bit of it. You don't have to bend down as much. You don't have to reach across that much. Because it's not always heavy, but a lot of it can be heavy. So the thing about standard mail is you have to remove the cardboard sleeve. Majority of the time, standard mail will not come with that little plastic taping. Sometimes it do. You might get like 2 or 3 trays that does. And if it does, by all means, throw it on the machine. It's great. You're going to love it. It's like a break. But the ones that don't, and a lot of them will be the one that does not have it, you're going to have to remove that sleeve. I'm going to show you how that goes. Let's say your APC, not mine, it's on a pallet. You're going to reach up. This is what I do. I'm going to show you what I do. Everyone's different. I usually have to reach up, and I have to pull it forward a little bit so I can reach the back of the tray. Because my arms are short. I'm short. It's always going to be a little bit above my head. And what I do is I will put it on the ledge. Because remember, as soon as you sit it down here, it's gone. It's going to start rolling. It's going to like escape your hand. You're going to be sitting trying to grab at it and be like, oh, well, crap. Because you're not going to catch it. You could. You might. But, yeah, you might not want to. I'll be staring at it like, oh, there it goes. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like, oh, okay. So I usually put it on the ledge because that's where I have the most control. Everybody does it differently. I put it on the ledge. I usually keep my hand on the tray here. I grab the sleeve here and I pull the sleeve out, and then I just do this movement, boom. Because, you know, it's plastic, so it's going to move where I move it. Just slide it on there. I try and let it slam too much because we don't want the mail to pop out and go everywhere. Plus we have a fan that might even blow it away. You don't want that to happen. So it doesn't really happen. Most of the time it's kind of packed tight, which also I should bring that up. Also keep in mind, sometimes they are packed really tight. So you might have to, you know, pull it 3 times to get it off. Again, you're going to grab it. I put it on the ledge, pull the sleeve off, bam. Some people do use the roller to their advantage and use it to take the tray while they yank the sleeve. Either way, you're still going to be pulling that sleeve. So, again, pull the sleeve down. Again, you're going to be pulling the sleeve down. Now remember, they have numbers to meet. So, just thinking about it, you're going to be doing this movement all day for like 8 to 12 hours a day. You got numbers to meet, so you can't move slow because you got numbers to meet. You move too slow, that supervisor might be on you the entire time. You're not moving fast enough. You're not moving fast enough. And believe me, if you're in your 90 days and you're like that slow person in one area, and that one area is like, just don't be that person. That's the standard side. What's going to hit you is the shoulders, the upper back, and if you do any bennies, there's going to be all back. So that's the physical movement. I'm not even showing you the part where you got to take the sleeve off, and you're going to throw the sleeve off into a box. So you're going to be grabbing it, sleeve off, drop it, toss the box. I'm not sure in what order that you would do it in, but just think about it. When we're doing this, tossing the sleeve, you might just do this. You might toss, throw the sleeve, but just think, remember, because you're not just, I'm pulling it this way, I'm pulling it off, but my box is here for me to throw the sleeve in, or it might be there to throw the sleeve in. So remember that you got that all arm movement. Just remember also to switch sides when one side gets tired. But that's an all day movement. So you will get a little sore. Here, here, here. So there's the physical movement to the loading dock for the high speed. Now, we're going to go in the plant. And before I get to this lines, there is a docking, like a loading area in the actual plant for the high speed. And it's pretty much very similar to the dock. I'm not going to really go over that quickly. The only difference is, even if you get the mail and it has the taping and the sleeve, you got to take that off. So you got to cut the taping off, then remove the sleeve, and then load it. Because you're not going to pass the area in the machine that's going to remove that for you. And I actually forgot to bring that up. That's why you don't have to worry about it so much in the dock, because it's going to pass through the machine somewhere, and somewhere in the machine is going to cut the taping, remove the sleeve, and it's going to come to you fine. But at the actual high speed area, it's not going to go through that process, so therefore you are now doing it. That's the only difference with loading it actually at the high speed area in the plant. Now we're going to go to the line. Change it again. Here's the line. This is the rollers. I know there's only one, but just imagine there's a lot of them right next to each other. There's enough space for you to move around, but it's pretty close together because remember, the mail is heavy. You don't want to be moving this mail too much around. So it's going to come to you like this with the handle ends on this. So it's going to be long ways. This is the roller. You're going to be here. You're going to have APCs on this side, 2 of them, one for standard, one for first class. You're going to have APCs on this side, standard, first class. The reason why I say it like that is the way my plant does it. The first APC is always standard. The second APC is always first class. They're also color coded. I don't know how the color codes really work. I can tell you that red is always first class. Standard mail is pink, green. I think there's orange, blue. I want to say there's yellow, but I might be wrong about that one. I don't know what they mean, but if they're not red, that's standard. Red is first class. And I'm hoping I'm not cutting my head off since I moved in front of the chair. But let's say this is coming, so what you're going to do is on the sides of the tray, it has a label on one of the sides. It's either on this side or this side. You're going to look for that label because you need to find out what zip code that you need to put it in. Because based on that zip code, you either go to you can usually know what side it's going to. If you know what leg it is, it would go to this side or this side. But you need to also look for to see if it's standard mail or first class mail. First class, you're looking for FCML. Standard mail, you're looking for STD. So you're going to look at the label. So you might have to bend this way or bend that way. Look at the label. And you're going to grab it. And let's say this is a brand new APC. And you're going to take it, place it long ways into the APC. The reason why I specified empty is you're going to have to bend down. You're going to bend in there with that APC. And if it's standard mail and that is heavy, yeah, you feel it. Try not to just drop it in there. Because you don't want to drop it in there and then the mail pops out. Because remember, the letters, plus like the letters are all in a very specific order in, pertaining to the route that makes it easier for the carrier to deliver. So you don't want to just slam in there and now the mail just pops out. So you usually can fit 3 side by side. Some people do this way and the third one like this. Do what you do. But that's the movement. You're going to be bending down in there. And it's gonna come up. The other movement that might get you, tall people you're probably fine, but for us short folks, is the APC that you're putting it in. So there's going to be that moment where you're kind of going to be going up a little bit. So what I do is I usually have to let go of the end and lift it, and I slide it from the bottom of my hand. I slide it through and then push it back. So, of course, once you do all that, it's going to hit your shoulders, upper back, And then, of course, with the putting down, you have the lower back, so it's all back. You're going to get sore. You'll probably be sore before lunch, especially if it's a lot of mail, because remember, it's going to keep coming down. So as you pick this up and you put this down, there's going to be probably already a few there. And then you got to make sure it's first class, so put it here. But then you also have, you might be working this line too. So you got to do that line. You might be working that next line, so you got to do that line. You might be working a few of them. So you're going to just be moving. You're moving all day. You're busy the entire day because the mail just never seems to stop. So you're going to be moving the entire time. Just know that when the line does get full, and say it gets really backed up and it gets all the way to the end, it won't push out any more trays because it's going to send a little signal and have a little blue light. It's going to light up at the end of the little line. That's pretty much signaling this line is full. And depending on who your supervisor is, they're going to be like, get rid of that blue light. Take off that blue light, and tell you to hurry up and, empty out that line. I don't know if there's actually an alarm. I feel like we had one, and I think it's low. But if it's not an alarm, you will obviously really see that light because it's like right there. You can't miss the light. Plus, you're backed up. You can see the trays. So just keep that in mind. Also, the thing that I did, which I probably wouldn't recommend it, but what I did, because I got tired of having to bend over to look at it, I would just turn the tray like this. So for those of you who decide to do this or doing it, just also keep in mind, especially if it's standard gun, it's heavy, that you are putting the strain right here, your wrist and this forearm. Because I remember my forearm was so sore because I used to lift it up so I can read it, so I can tell myself, hey, standard, first class. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to be putting stress there, especially if it's like your stronger hand you use on. I don't think I really switched hands that much on that one, but that is the very basic thing about high speed that I can give you. Hopefully I can find a few images here and there. It is the blue machine. So if you walk inside your plant and you see this big old blue machine, the little spirals everywhere, that's it right there. That, darling, is the high speed. It's blue at my plant, and I heard someone else mention that it was blue at theirs. So I'm like, maybe that's just a universal color for this machine at all plants. But yes, that is that machine. I hope you understood everything, and I hope this video turned out alright. I'm gonna make sure I didn't chop my head off standing up telling y'all this. But if not, if you have any confusions or any random questions, just throw it in the comments, and I will catch y'all in my next video. And also, tell me how my sound is. Let me know. AK out.